Since we are talking about training, I thought it will be a good topic to touch base on to discuss how we prep for the season. An area we don't talk about is the mental preparation,
Yeah.
how we prepare, like set certain goals for the season, how the players go about it from a first class level probably a lead on to international level as well. For me personally, I was training or we were playing first class cricket back in Sri Lanka, the aim was to be finish in the top three, if possible the top wicket taking bowler for the season. Generally a spinner takes that mantle, of course, going with in line with the pitches that we have and the weather factor to everything. So spinners bowl the bulk of the overs. So trying to be on top of that, because you're trying to hit the ground running pretty much to be the top player, in terms of a bowler for the season. So me, the preparation was more intense. As soon as the season starts, you want to be up and running. You don't want to be playing catch up cricket. You just want to be ahead of the curve, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In Sri Lanka, I think 50 wickets for the season was a good achievement. I think I'm not sure where the standards are now, whether it would have gone up a bit, because I think the wickets for the season might be, with more games being played, the benchmark must have gone up. So you might be
Probably.
thinking probably 75 wickets a season might be the top mark. I mean, you break it down into, okay, how the price wickets you want to take for the season. You'll be playing across top teams, like, when your season's ahead, the games that you're going to be playing. Like if you're going to play up against SSC, Tilan Samarire is a price wicket you want to take. Chamara Silva was playing for Bloomfield a lot part of the career when we were playing against each other.
Yeah.
The last few seasons, I think he moved to CCC. So those were two players I would always like to have as under the wicket tally, because I think I feel they're the top players in the domestic
Yeah.
circuit. So of course we had the luxury of having a few class batsmen in our lineup for NCC. So against the opposition, those two, if you take the wickets against them, it's a feel good factor. So I would prepare myself like that. So, but then how do you prepare in terms of wickets? I mean, to get to 50 wickets, there's a method to get there as well. So generally you want to average around the 3 wicket mark per game, roughly. On good days you get the 5-6 wickets, but then
Yeah.
the bad days, like, the general game that you want to be averaging 3 wickets. The mindset, we discuss about how do we go about getting these wickets, right? So for me, if I can get 2 to 3 wickets from the top order, that's the top six, it sets you up to get a few wickets off the tail, which is more we call it the discount wickets, or the time we go shopping to grab a few extras. So that ends up as your 5-6 wicket haul in a match. But there's a lot of competition when this tail end comes in. All the bowlers, it's a good
Yeah.
time to
Putting
get
their
back,
hand up.
put their hand up, yep, just finish off the tail. So that was my prep as a bowler, spin bowler especially. Vida, yours would have been slightly different, being a fast bowler. What was your prep like for the season ahead?
Yeah, you summed up everything nicely there, Bora. As you said, for a fast bowler, it's a bit different. But I had similar mindset when it comes to setting up goals for the season. If you talk about training, I was lucky to be in the national fast bowling setup until I decided to come to Australia. And we had some wonderful coaches and trainers looked after us throughout the year. You can talk about Champaka Ramanayaka, Anusha Samaranayaka, and Prabhat Nisanka, Mario, and Arjun as trainers, Charlie sir as a batting coach, Sumitra Varnakul Surya, and we had Manoj and Bawa as our fielding coaches. So, we've been really looked after like race horses, Bora. But you and I both know it's near impossible for a fast bowler to top the bowling rankings for a season in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Because with the pitches we play on, as you said, like the spinners tend to bowl bulk of overs. But my plan, I always aim to try and end up in the top 10, which is like you'll have to at least take 40 plus wickets. To get there, the new ball was the key, and taking wickets in the second innings, those two were the factors, because when you're playing 3-day and 4-day games, sometimes in the second innings, you might only get 5-6 overs. And if you don't take few wickets in those overs, the spinners will come and finish up taking all the wickets. But whatever said and done, there is something for the fast bowlers in that first half an hour in the morning session. So you have to make that new ball count and take a couple of wickets, which will lead you to bowl a longer spell and come back for another spell. As you said, like, I'll put my hand up to come back later and try to grab a couple more wickets to clean up the tail.
Exactly right. I think the mindset of a fast bowler, it's a hard grind, and you summed it up like saying, yep, that you got to make the new ball count. Because in Sri Lanka, with a bit of moisture early morning, the ball tends to move a bit more. So
Yeah.
playing at tracks of the NCC, Coles, SSC, before it dries out to be a Delta or Wicket, or even the Tamil Union, those are the tracks, okay, as a fast bowler, you build yourself up. That's where you feel you can cash in. But
Yeah.
if you play on, where could you think of? Probably Bloomfield, CCC, fast bowlers generally take a back seat. But you assess the conditions. So as a fast bowler, you probably would have look at the fixture schedule and say, yep, I'm going to be playing, this amount of games at these pitches. This is where you're going to have more opportunity to make yourself available. But so you prepare in that aspect, right? As a spinner, when we are playing even the Premier League, some of the games we went to super, I can't remember the term. It was like it's a second round comp where you play 4-day cricket and you start playing in test venues. I think we played a game in Gaul. As a spinner, when you're playing in goal, okay, your fingers are always like, you're itching, you want the ball straight away, kind of, it spins a mile. But I remember you took, I think those two, was a fifer in goal in one of the games.
Yeah, that was against Army, I think, yeah.
So on days like that, it's like, those are performances you kind of didn't plan for the season, but when it comes good, you cash in and you want to make well, isn't that? So we always got to prepare or plan ahead for the season. No point going with the flow. Professionally back home, Sri Lanka, I think that's where the players need to do that. So the mental preparation, that's the main thing. So then even if, I know you're going to have setbacks, but at least we prepared for it. We kept the mindset, all right, I didn't start as much as I wanted. Okay, how can I catch up to get to my target? Or we reassess. That's the mental prep that we want to be in, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes you'll have to reassess your targets, your goals as well, Bora. As you said, sometimes maybe in the first 4 games, you might not get your 12 wickets or 15 wickets. Then you'll have to be realistic and reassess and adjust those targets and goals. I'll quickly touch up a little bit about bowling in second innings. Bora, it's a bit of a different ball game altogether. When you're bowling on deteriorating pitches, you got to bowl a little bit straighter to bring in that LBW into the play, and your fitness is the key. You're bowling in the 4th day. You might have to toil hard bowling those dirty overs. Sometimes it might be like 7-8 overs, just keeping those runs down, maybe to get a wicket, maybe not. You might not get a wicket at all. So that's how I approached it. It's hard work, but sometimes, as you said, you get lucky and you end up taking 5-6 wickets running through the innings.
Now we've all done that part to build the pressure, as we call, in especially 4-day or longer format cricket, where you bowl in one line and length. We've heard it's a boring situation, but it builds up. It cuts the momentum of the opposition, and you keep grinding those overs until you created enough pressure around it. Now that it creates a chance of. I remember, like, we don't go into luxuries of having your bat pad sleeps, but you bowl to a certain extent where the runs are controlled, and we hear about a lot of the guys in even in circuit cricket, they say you still got to be able to bowl 6 balls on the same spot. That
Mm.
comes from those trainings over time. You got to bowl at training as well as in matches in certain periods where all you got to focus is on landing that 6 balls on top of off
Yeah,
or just outside off stump because you've got the field set up there.
yeah.
And that's the one that goes into, we call the muscle memory, or
Mm.
building up into our minds. Okay, I know this is going to be a boring passage of cricket, but I've got to do this for the best
Mm.
interest of the team.
Yeah. Sometimes, Bora, you'll have to come around the wicket and bowl a few overs just to make a rough outside that off stump for a right hander if
Yeah,
a off spinner is bowling. So it's a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
yes, exactly. And as spinners, I know we count on the fast bowlers running through, creating that rough. A guy with a stronger follow through will definitely, he'll be in the years of captain. I remember I would be in Upul's years, saying, Upul, make sure you get this guy go bowling in for a few. He's going to create more rough. And it's tactics. I think that's
Mm.
the beauty of 4-day cricket. I mean, we've all played 4-day cricket. Imagine that's the same that applies in 5-day or test cricket, that
Mm.
trying to build small pockets of strategies to be on top.